Hello there, welcome to the program. I'm Jane Mutoni. For the third year in a row, the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to disrupt the world, and Rwanda is no exception. Health officials have again urged the general public not to be complacent towards the COVID-19 pandemic and instead respect the preventive measures in place so that the country can effectively fight it. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, and these are the news in details. Now, for the third year in a row, the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to disrupt the world, and Rwanda is no exception. As the old adage goes, when life gives you lemons, enterprises and industries promoting made in Rwanda products are strengthening efforts to increase productivity for locally made products to fill the gap of what would have been imported into the country as finished products. Gloria Mutesi reports.
As the number of industries continues to grow across the country, so does the socio-economic impact it has on the communities where these industries operate from, as explained by Diane Kamanzi, the owner of a garment manufacturing company based in Kigali.
This is why I just start a business that can provide job, that can work on the mindset of people, that can change that mindset of thinking that we are only consumers, but we can also provide, that you can also create something to the society. General mindset change is from our clients. Before, they used to avoid to say that our products are made in here. So they used to even to avoid us to put our labels on our clothes. But now they are confident, even to write on their shop that we are selling made in Rwanda products.
The biggest perception of made in Rwanda products is that they are often too expensive towards the local market. And for those that can actually afford, the quality isn't good enough. But industries in Rwanda are now working to change that narrative by creating pieces that are both pocket-friendly towards the people, yet still maintaining the trends and quality of these pieces for the given markets in order to solve the issues of scarcity of imports brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, while also embracing the spirit of locally made products.
While strides have been made in pushing the Made in Rwanda agenda, some industry owners and entrepreneurs believe that there are some gaps that still need to be filled for the country to increase productivity for the local market, while also confidently competing on the international market.
In Rwanda have been an opportunity, especially to young people, because they have been able to create, to be more innovative in what they are doing. And it's not even a requirement to have a bigger space when you are starting Made in Rwanda. You can start small and grow big. But the challenge is still there because we still have a long way to go for having the quality we want to be able to compete worldwide or in the region. But together we can try to see how we can overcome that challenge by using all opportunities around.
Many industries depend on raw materials imported into the country, which was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This was a blessing in disguise because it led to entrepreneurs and manufacturers looking at homegrown solutions to this challenge, as explained by the PSF spokesperson.
There are some companies that have been able to open new lines of production due to the demand that were caused by COVID. But also there are others who also got opportunity to sell their products due to the reduction of those which have been imported. So those are the both sides, positive and negative. But overall, we may say that Made in Rwanda companies have been affected by COVID, but measures that have been put in place to help them to recover, help them to stay in the business.
According to the National Institute of Statistics, in November 2021, the index of industrial production shows that industrial output of the formal sector increased by 17.9% compared to November 2020, against an increase of 15.0% on an annual average basis. Gloria Mutesi reporting for RTV News.
Thank you, Gloria, for that report. Now, health officials have again urged the general public not to be complacent towards the COVID-19 pandemic and instead respect the preventive measures in place so that the country can effectively fight it. Ghislaine Mugwaneza reports.
In some neighborhoods of the country, people openly do not respect the measures to fight COVID-19 as required.
Youth do not understand the level of threat and some pretend that COVID-19 is not real. But there are those that understand it. I've heard some young people say that people have always died and that COVID-19 is not the only disease that kills them. There are even those who say that COVID-19 only kills elderly people. I encourage people to respect the measures in place. There are those that neglect that the pandemic is real because they haven't seen many people that have died. They say it does not affect the young generation, that it only affects elderly people. They should know that COVID-19 is real and should protect themselves.
According to the Ministry of Health, 75 people were transferred to the hospital in the last 7 days after getting seriously sick. This Friday, 22 people were transferred, and there are those in critical condition among them. Elderly persons with chronic diseases have appreciated how the government of Rwanda had put more effort in providing vaccination for all categories, which gives hope to those who get infected that it won't be severe. They kept on putting in place measures to fight the spread of COVID-19 even after getting fully vaccinated.
On my side and my family, we put on face masks properly. We keep social distance in mass gatherings. We all got vaccinated. And for those who ask the use of vaccination, I would advise them to get vaccinated because the pandemic is around in the whole world.
I protect myself by putting on face masks properly. I tell people to practice social distancing. Having vaccination gives me hope that if I get infected, I can be healed. I know so many people that died because of COVID-19, including my siblings and friends. It is a worse disease. We should all protect ourselves. The head of Disease Prevention and Control Department at RBC, Dr. Alberto Ishime, has noted that people should understand that COVID is killing people as well as becoming more severe in variant.
In the death records, we find that there are those with different diseases. When COVID reaches in a body that has chronic diseases, it weakens that body, which may result into critical condition or death. If we do not seriously comply with measures in place, new infections would rise, and that is not what we want, because it can lead to many people in critical conditions and death.
According to the Ministry of Health, 17 deaths were recorded in the last 7 days, and more than 10,000 COVID-19 patients are being cared for at home. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, RTV News.
Members of the private sector are attributing the problem of high cooking oil prices to the economic repercussions of the COVID-19 pandemic and the fact that things like soybean and sunflower, which are used to produce the oil, are not grown enough in Rwanda.
Manabu Industries, that is located in Bugesera district of the Eastern Province, produces cooking oil made from sunflowers and is capable of producing up to 30,000 liters daily. But it is forced to import all of its raw materials, and the costs of doing that have almost tripled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's made from sunflowers, but the fact is they don't grow them here, which is why we import all of our raw materials from Ukraine, Poland, and as far away as Argentina. Now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, shipping is very expensive. The result of those extra costs is that cooking oil is now very expensive.
Cooking oil is very expensive. You could get a liter for 1,800 Rwandan francs, and now it costs 3,000 Rwandan francs. Most people can no longer afford to buy it. Because of these price hikes, people have begun to consume bad cooking oil just because it is cheap. Then there are those who reuse the oil, using it to fry potatoes, only to store it to use it again, over and over again. Doing that is very dangerous and can result in serious health problems.
The Private Sector Federation says it is in talks with the government to see how the issue can be resolved. The Private Sector Federation cannot provide the solution on its own and is obligated to hold discussions with the other relevant authorities to come to a consensus on what can be done, be it reducing taxes or finding other ways to assist importers. So we are talking to them to ascertain what is causing the rise in prices, and after the cause has been identified, measures will be taken to address them and other issues that may be identified as well. Authorities at the Rwanda Agriculture Board have also confirmed that efforts are being made for more soya beans and sunflowers to be grown locally, reducing and eventually eliminating the need for factories like Manibu Industries to import them. Soya bean production is subsidized by the government in the form of planting seeds and fertilizers, and 7,000 hectares are cultivated each year, and we are going to increase it to 8,000 hectares. We are also facilitating agreements between farmers and the industries that need such raw materials, while also helping farmers, especially in the eastern province, to up their production in the marshlands of Kagitumba, Rwangingo, and Rwinhwavu of Kayonza district, as well as others in Bugesera district that used to grow corn. They are all now going to grow soya. We have also turned our attention to sunflowers as well, because we have never grown them as part of the Consolidated Land Program. But we are considering doing that on a rotational basis with other crops. The management of Manibu Industries says being able to get their sunflowers here in Rwanda would help to reduce the cost of their cooking oil from 2,500 Rwandan francs to 2,000 Rwandan francs per litre.
In the southern province, some people stress that the fight against malnutrition and stunting is a pledge from the few they have. Recent health and well-being studies have shown that the issue of malnutrition and stunting in the southern province has reduced by 32.8% from the previous 40% in a 2015 study. Innocent Mugabo reports.
Nyamagabe district is currently the first district in the country to reduce the problem of malnutrition and stunting at a rate of 51.8%. A recent study found that stunting remained among children at a rate of 33.6%. In 5 years, the percentage has dropped at almost 18%, thanks to the big role of the community. Seraphine Mukatabaro stresses that she took her child to Mbuga Health Center for anti-malnutrition services, and she was offered all the care she needed.
I used to think that my child was bewitched, but after taking him to the health center, they taught me how to take care of him. I also decided to teach my fellows how to prepare a balanced diet and fight against stunting in our children.
Cultivating vegetables in the kitchen garden and rearing small animals is said to be one of the issues that has helped those with this problem.
I prepare a balanced diet for my children. My firstborn suffered from malnutrition, but my secondborn is healthy.
Southern Province Governor Kaitesi Alice notes that the province is at the forefront of tackling the problem due to its efforts in village daycare centers and parents' encouragement to take care of children using things they can easily access in their homesteads.
Parents are also taught how to prepare a balanced diet and how to take care of their children. The other thing that helped us are the home care centers, whereby we have not less than 2 of them in every village, where children are fed and parents trained on how to take care of their children. The other thing that helped us is the Shisha Chibondo program.
Studies have shown that stunting also leads to brain damage, as explained by Mokambo Guje Makili, a nutritionist at Kigeme Hospital.
It affects the child's brain growth, and the child will end up being dull in school. So, such a person has no value to the country.
The severity and impact of malnutrition and stunting is one of the most pressing social problems, whereby the country has invested in all the efforts to see it solved. That is why President Paul Kagame, at the conclusion of the training of local leaders in November last year, again called on them to deal with the issue. Seriously, when we look at this issue, what is missing? When you assess the matter, what do you believe is missing? What cannot be consolidated and used so that those children, be it how they are born or their nutrition and all else they need growing up, all that is provided so that they may grow up into healthy young people and adults for our country. The DHS 2019-2020 Health and Wellbeing Survey found that malnutrition and stunting was at 33% from 38% in 2015. The Northern Province has 41% of stunted children. The Western Province has 40% under the age of 5. The Southern Province has 33% and Kigali City has 21%. Innocent Mugabo, RTV News.
Thank you, Innocent, for that report. Now, Gasawa District is stepping up its efforts to address the problem of street children with the participation of parents. Some of the children that used to live on the streets of various sectors in Gasawa District explained how they used to live in bad conditions, hence finally deciding to return to their homes as well as going back to school.
I would encourage them to quit living on the streets because it is a hectic life and one faces many problems. Personally, I decided to leave the streets and go back to school so that I can have a bright future. The
Gasawa District local authorities are holding talks with children on the streets and their parents to understand their responsibilities to their children. Some parents say that this issue is mainly caused by poverty. Parents say they are going to do their best to fulfill their parental responsibilities. Yes, I'm poor, but I used to get minimum wage jobs and earn like 2,000 Rwandan francs and buy food for my children. But that wasn't enough to them, so they could go to the streets and sometimes spend nights there. The Gasawa District Executive Administrator says that both the administration and the partners are doing their best to reduce the number of children on the streets. She says that this, however, cannot be achieved without the involvement or participation of parents. You find that some parents have given up on their children as they refer them to lost causes. So we are asking parents to remember the moral of parenting. We are doing our best to eradicate the issue of kids living on the streets. During the 20 Solid Days campaign, Gasawa District has already removed 473 children from the streets. The goal is to ensure that there is no single child left on the streets. Well, there you have it. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.